Hello, it is Sunday, August 18th, 2019, and this is the upper body workout, part 2. All right, public service announcement right here. Do not waste your time watching this video unless you have a very specific reason to. All right, now we got that out of the way. I would hate for you to waste your time. So, like I said, part of not wasting your time is speed. So, if this is on an application that shows up on YouTube, your YouTube application, there should be 3 dots somewhere around here. Press the 3 dots, you get some drop-down menu and it says playback speed. Press playback speed, you got right at the bottom, I think it's 2 times. So you want to hit that 2x situation. And this will be a lot better and faster and whatever. Also, if you're watching it in the browser, most browsers have a little gear right around here. You press the gear, playback speed 2 times. Okay. Upper body part 2. We're going to start this. Going to run through the whole thing real quick. What it is warm up, then exercise. In between all the exercises, there is a breathing exercise. And the breathing exercise probably takes the most of this. Plus, I will be randomly talking about random things that pop into my mind. A lot of this is just notes to self, but some of this is, maybe useful to somebody else beyond me. Hopefully, that would be wonderful if it is. Let's see here. All right, the warm-up consists of some exercises my dad likes as far as feeling good in your back and warming you up. So I almost think of that as a pre-warm-up, but that's the part of the warm-up. And then there is 3 L-shaped chin-ups, 4 glide downs, 7 inverted sit-ups, 13 push-ups, 7 air squats, and 6 bends. That ends the warm-up. Then the exercise is going on today, upper body part 2. Incline bench, 3 sets, starting out with a set of 6, lower the weight, set of 8, lower the weight, set of 10. Next exercise will be chest machine. Simulates flat bench pretty much. 2 sets, set of 8, lower the weight, set of 10. Next exercise beyond that should be lat push downs. That's going to be the one where you're standing and you're pushing the lat bar or the bar down on the cable. And that is kind of a back tricep exercise, set of 8, lower the weight, set of 10. Then there is hammer curls, set of 8, lower the weight, set of 10. Lastly, there is only 5 exercises. Bent over flies. What that is a set of 15. And then 4 sets of 5, which is kind of fun and interesting. And no lowering of the weight and no real breathing exercises in between those sets. Just normal, maybe 2 or 3 breaths instead of the normal long breathing exercise situation that I have going on. All right. Now that I've explained this for entirely too long, let's go ahead and start this thing out. The exercises my dad seems to like, and I like to. Just gonna 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Why I chose 7, I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That felt pretty good. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now goes to the lower body. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. All right. those. Yeah. Let's see here. Front raise using your legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So those are those exercises. Kind of fun, kind of good. One, 2, 3. Feeling a bit weak today. All right. Ah, something's going on with my sinuses. That's interesting. All right. Glide downs. Step in front of the pole, or the chin-up bar if you don't want to swing too much. Just don't bang your head against it. There's 1. Here's 2. Here's 3. And here's 4. Oh, that's nice. All right, a little bit fast on those. I'm gonna go. Speaking of those and nose, I'm gonna blow my nose. Oh my goodness. Whew. So a friend of mine gave me a liquid incense burner. Using that in here, I think I've used too much of that, but I'm also burning incense because I smelled something strange. And instead of finding the strange smell, I'm gonna cover it up with incense and liquid potpourri. Now, I think the strange smell was some clothes that I washed. So yeah, washed and folded, but I didn't like the smell, and I just decided, hey, time to do some sort of, I don't know. The good news is the smell's taken care of, I think. I just think I overdid it on the counter battle. It does smell good in here, though. When my nose is operating, gee whiz. Goodness me. Good excuse for a stretch here before the inverted sit-ups. Thought about doing like upside down exercises, like hanging upside down and, you know, just kind of pulling stuff, you know, like that. But the head just, man, feels weird if you hang out upside down too long. Do not like that feeling. A little bit's okay. Too long gets kind of weird. That's why I like the sit-ups, because your head's moving. Anything just using my arms alone, not as fun. All right, I don't remember if I did the stretch or not. Yeah, that's about right. So yeah, complex carbohydrates. I think I gained like 3 pounds in one night last night because I drank 32. I was already near full, and I decided to buy some chocolate milk. And I bought what I thought was a good deal on the Fairlife 32-ounce chocolate milk. that seems like it has a pretty good ratio of proteins to carbohydrates to fat. It has 50% less sugar, complex carbohydrates, I know. But yeah, tasty stuff, especially if you have a glass of ice and you're just constantly pouring it over that glass of ice, drinking it up. That's my thing, like pour a little bit into a glass of ice, drink it up, then let it just be a glass of ice. It's only not a glass of ice when I'm pouring it into it and then drinking it. I don't leave liquids hanging out in the ice to mix with the water. And before I pour the liquid into the ice, I make sure I clear out the water in the bottom with the straw. So a glass, ice, straw, tasty beverage, put that all together with this pouring and drinking, and then drink, and then pour, and then drink again. Yeah, so the fun things we do that give us pleasure. But yeah, I think I went through, yeah, I'm sure. If it's 32 ounces, I went through that whole bottle, you know. So yeah, that might be the sniffles today. Too much dairy. Yeah, vegetarian, but I guess I do dairy and cheese. I mean, I do cheese and milk sometimes. Don't do milk too often. Maybe about 2 to 3 times a week, I think. Could be more, I'm not sure. Sometimes it's not very much at all, though. I've pretty much given up on cereal because cereal's complex carbohydrates. Okay, here we go. Whew. All right, let's stop with the swinging. Oh, that does feel good right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, right. Now it's time to grab, and then stretch and feel the goodness. Oh, there we go. Thank you. $20. Has 2 cotter pins on either side, so I can actually pull this bar away if I want. It's not too hard, but I've left it there for years. I'll continue to do so. I am so thankful that it's not raining right now. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into it, but roof leak. Oh man. But hopefully taken care of within the next 2 days. And thank goodness to good people in good situations. So thankful for my life. Getting lucky with all sorts of interesting things. And I guess you can dwell on the unlucky and dwell on the things you don't have, but I'm not going to waste my time with that. I'm going to do my best to appreciate what I got. Enjoy the situation. All right. So, yeah, still in the warm-up. Go figure. All right. 13 push-ups coming up next. And then after the 13 push-ups, we got 7 air squats and 6 bends. All right. That looks like it's in the right spot. Cool. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and And then there's a 13. Whew. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, that feels good. Yeah, the bends are not so much an exercise, kind of a stretch where I think I really need to stretch. But it also feels a little bit like an exercise. I don't know if I did 6 or 7 on that. Shooting for 6, I might have gone for 7. That's okay, don't mind the bonus. We're good for time today, so we can take our time with this. And goodness, we are, or I am, taking my time. All right, so we got the incline. There we go. First exercise. Just for fun, I'll look at these numbers. Increasing again this week. The second set of this is going to be more than the second set last week. So that's good. 8, 5. Oh. Yeah. Breathing exercise might be mandatory right here. Had that mental hesitation. I'm not trying to lift those up right now. Breathing exercise will probably give me a little bit of courage, momentum, motivation, hopefully. Feeling good. Definitely feeling good about a lot of this. Very happy about a lot of things. Breathing exercise like that takes your appreciation of life and just adds a few more points to it. So if you weren't appreciating your life, you're in the negatives, you can bring it up closer to 0 or closer to the positive. You know, sometimes if you're feeling too good, that'll take you right down to a comfortable, good place. So it's a fun tool in the toolbox. On a 1 through 13 scale, probably gets me closer to 10. I think it used to get me close around 8. I think before that it used to get me maybe to 6. There was a lot of my life I was feeling really, really good. Breathing exercise would take me down to 6. But if you're at a 1, you just want to feel better, breathing exercise. It's a simple thing to do. Pick the right one, find the right one, experiment. You'll get there. I have every confidence that every human being that's equipped to breathe can benefit by unlocking the breathing exercises that help them. And I could be delusional. This could be just total, I could be fooling myself on this. It might be nothing. But so far, I'll take the psychosomatic effect. I will gladly consider this placebo worthwhile. All right. Note to self, be careful lifting these. Use my legs to help me out. That's what I'm going to do. One arm at a time. Should probably straighten up the back a little bit. Don't want to use bending as a situation here, so legs. That makes it a little easier. That's not too bad. All right. There we go. Yeah, I like putting them on my knees. Squish my legs. All right, now I'm going to use my knees to lift it up a little bit. Like I said, I'm only going for a set of 6. I think I can do it. Did it last week. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6. All right. Good thing I got a breath exercise coming up. That's all I'm saying about that. Oh. All right. Breath exercise. But first, we gotta lower that weight a little bit. Get ready for that set of 8. It's on the horizon. It's gonna happen. It's gonna feel outstanding. I don't know about all that. I'm gonna try to believe it. Oh. Oh my goodness. So I'm focusing on my breathing pretty much, and using my fingers to count helps me focus on my breathing because it doesn't take up any of my thoughts or less of my thoughts just to use the fingers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 breaths up and down the fingers. Works out pretty well, or I guess down and up. And a little bit of extra with the yawn. Wow, seemed like that took a bit out of me. All right, let's take a bit more. Set of 8. I am so close to just quitting right here. I guess my buddy was right. Without the accountability camera, I would just be like, nope, forget about it. I'll do this later. But since I'm already rolling, hey, let's go on the roll. Here we go. Come on now. Come on. You got this. feels a little less heavy. Not by much. Oh. A little help with my legs. Okay. One. There we go, get that right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Getting close to my edges on that. Wow. Okay. I get it. There was some definitely close to edges there. Yeah, it's weird when you kind of push yourself and not feeling nauseous or anything like that, but I've been there before. I feel itchy. Push yourself, maybe it's just weird sweat. Sometimes when I shower up, I'm doing all cold showers now, but every now and then I'll test the heat in my shower. I like to do a cold shower for a while. I'll turn up the heat, soap up a lot in the heat, get my pores all open, and then switch it to cold all the way, wait till it gets real cold, and then rinse off in that cold with all the soap in my pores. Sometimes that leads to a little itchiness when you sweat, depending upon the soap. But I'm using some pretty cheap soap. I don't know it seems to work great, except when it's inside my pores, it might make me a little bit itchy. Only one more set of these. Should lower the weight right now. Good news, instead of lowering it just by a little bit, it's a little bit, which is a little bit more than what I'm going to be doing, or a little bit less in weight than what I'm going to be doing next week. Also a set of 10, so there's that. Definitely feeling it, and feeling it a good way. I really feel it just where I should feel it, which is good. I guess a friend was telling me about, like, if your chest isn't activated, then you're going to be just lifting all your arms, and you have to really go through a process of activating your chest. I don't know much about that. What I do know is feeling warmth. That's good warmth. One of these days, I'll get back to the JDS. Maybe I'll find another under $5 jump rope. Maybe I'll find my old jump rope. All right. There is goodness in the world. A lot of things are going great. Last week I finished reading the book Sapiens. Now I'm reading Homo Deus by Yuval Noah Harari. I think that's the name. Which is kind of cool because I really like Another author, maybe it's the same author, but I don't think so. Johann Hari. Maybe they're related, who knows? And Johann, I think it's Johann Hari, wrote two books, Chasing the Scream, that I read, and Lost Connections, that I read. And the cool thing about reading books by the same author that's basically nonfiction, kind of maybe a treatise on, I don't even know what that word really means, but just an examination of a situation in life with ideas, facts around the situation, ideas pertaining to it. The Chasing the Scream and the Lost Connections, when you read those back to back, doesn't matter which order, at least it didn't for me, you see the same ideas and almost some of the same evidence towards some of the same ideas, so it's really, really cool. I would recommend Chasing the Scream first and then Lost Connections after that. I think I read it in reverse, but I don't think it really matters too much. The Yuval Noah Hari, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right, is, it's probably best to go in the order of Sapiens, then Homo Deus, and then the 21 Reasons for Living in the 21st Century, something about 21st century, I know that much. Lessons on Living in the 21st Century. I've read a little bit of the beginning of that because I got a hold of it and I was like, okay. But yeah, Homo Deus and Sapiens, a lot of the same evidence, a lot of the same stuff. One's past historical, one's future based upon past historical. Really good stuff. I'm enjoying it immensely. And it makes me glad for some of the choices I make. I like the whole vegetarian thing. I might become more of a pescatarian. That means a pesky vegetarian. No, someone that eats fish along with that. But a book convinced me a year or two ago to try doing that, and I've only done that. I haven't done this I think I did it once or twice in 2017, but I haven't really done it since then. But what it is wild caught fish every couple months. Eating wild caught fish every couple months, which is on my to-do list when I get the opportunity to. But fishing regulations, and my dad observes the fishing regulations, and I'm glad that he does, do not allow the fish he likes to catch to be kept, at least for now. So, he likes the trout, the redfish, and the snook, and I'm a sauce guy. Like, fake meat, good. Real meat, sauce, good. Real meat, I'm not saying it weighs on my conscience, and hopefully I'll never try to push someone into being a vegetarian. That's not my push, that's not my cause, that's not my crusade. If anybody, I have gentle suggestions for people to do that are absolute. Like, I don't know. Maybe eating meat is better for a person, and if I tell them not to, like, I'm screwing up their lives. Reasonably sure, smoking's not good for somebody, so. And back to the joke, if I like you a lot, I'll gently ask you, hey, next time you smoke a cigarette, look through your pack, look through one cigarette, and be like, I'm not gonna smoke that particular cigarette for Yorm, I'm gonna wait. Or just wait 5 minutes or 10 minutes before you smoke your cigarette, or skip it. And, go to your next cigarette break knowing that you skipped at least one in the name of me, because that guy cares about me. But if you're an asshole, smoke them if you got them. Anyhow, where was I going with this idea? All right, so there was books, there was ideas, there was concepts, smoking. Reading that book, Sapiens and Homo Deus, makes me really glad about some of the choices I've made. No smoking, no drinking, vegetarian. Although I'm not convinced that vegetarian is the healthiest way to live. So it's like, let's say it's not the healthiest way to live, and you want to be like, oh, well, I'm basically nice towards animals. And I know that the eggs I eat and the milk I drink sometimes, some of those animals are probably having horrible lives. And that does weigh a little bit on me, and it makes me want to, eat a little less eggs and drink a little less milk. And I don't know if quote unquote organic is any better. Free range eggs, maybe that's just enjoyable. I remember some friends and neighbors of mine had chickens, and those chickens were fun. They were fun to chase around. They were just egg chickens, so they had their own little house type thing. They were running around the yard, the backyard. It was all fenced in, huge yard, and it was cool hanging out. And being a little kid, the chickens were always afraid of you. The little kids moved too fast. Like, grown-ups didn't move as fast around the chickens. The chickens were kind of chill, but little kids chasing the chickens, it used to be so much fun. But it was probably, actually, now that I think about it, we probably really scared those chickens. It's not like we caught up with them and grabbed them and hurt them or anything, but just being chased around by this, So, okay, maybe maybe those chickens didn't have the best. No, they only had to deal with little kids maybe once or twice a week when we all got together and, or actually, yeah, my friends were living there, so maybe they dealt with little kids chasing them every day. I'd like to believe we only, when we're all hanging out, we would chase the chickens maybe 10 minutes a day at max. So, ratio of like what is happiness and what is the value of life. Why am I talking about this? Choices I've made. Yeah, so like no drugs, no smoking, no drinking. No, that's good. Well, I mean, I made poor choices too. Some of the relationships and opportunities and all this kind of stuff that I've forgone in order to quote unquote be true to myself and go the way that feels right. Maybe that's a good decision, maybe that's a bad decision. I don't know. There's no real way to tell. I'm certainly glad I am who I am. I feel that me being somebody different would probably have a lot more material happiness and relationship happiness. But me kind of sticking true to my guns, it's almost like if I'm not going to be happy as who I am and going to be happy as someone else, well, why bother even existing? If I can't make it as who I am, if I can't make myself happy as who I am, then like there's not really much point to life at that point. At least that's some weird view that I uncovered, thankfully, before I made wrong decisions. Some of my higher education decisions I wish I didn't make. 1 degree is enough. Got 2 degrees, and the second one came with a lot of debt, and not worth it. But I thought, hey, with this degree, I'm going to get this awesome job, and nope, never quite panned out that way. But there are some definite positives to what I've learned. I don't know how much I'm implementing any of them, but I'm glad I know them. I think I could have gotten them from other free sources, which is what I do now. I learn things sometimes, read a few books. Maybe some of this knowledge will be useful for some material items. And skills, develop a few skills. Like to develop wit. That's something I really want that. And I've gotten a little bit of it. I've had a couple lucky successes when I've switched up and told a joke just right off the top of my head. And sometimes those are better than the ones I prepare because the expectations are a little lower, I think. And then there is, and it's almost like subliminally the expectations are a little lower, which is great. That whole thing's like, I like that. I don't know why I like that, but I like that. I'm just talking and procrastinating on this third set, but there's something in my head that I want to crystallize here, so I'm basically verbalizing to put some of my thoughts together. But yeah, skills and acquisitions. Eventually I'll get serious about juggling. Why? All right, that's not too bad. And maybe hacky sack. Not because it's a vocational thing. It's just because a hacky sack, I think, is just, a very, for the most part, non-dangerous, social lubrication. You toss a hacky sack to somebody, they kick it, and they feel good. It's movement. It's good. It's like a walk and talk with somebody, and I do like my walk and talks. Having somebody when we're just walking and talking. That's a good thing. But yeah, developing skills at things that enrich life. So like the hacky sack thing, now I'm really trying to develop any skills with it. Just be able to, kick it back to somebody accurately. Give them the best kick to allow them to really, do the best they can. Be that kind of level of cheerleader. And maybe that's even a skill. Being a good listener, being a good cheerleader for people I care about, and developing a general sense of well-being and caring about most of the world. These are things I work towards, not because it'll ever make me money, but because I think it's part of who I am. The wit thing, that's totally part of getting along with people, and it also gives me a thrill to be able to think that fast. And those patterns, it helps me understand the world a little bit better with wit. There's definite patterns within wit that I think are great in comedy in general, understanding those patterns and why they are the way they are. The formulas of comedy, using analogous, like crazy analogies and stuff. But yeah, so many things I want to develop. So many stupid little skills. But one of them is writing. And I say that and I haven't written anything today. But the writing thing might be the only one that actually, I got the music thing, I got the comedy thing, but the writing thing, that's one that'll, and the self-experimentation, gentle self-experimentation, intermittent fasting, I don't know if that's a skill. It's an interesting process, but maybe having the willpower, flexing your willpower muscle, that's kind of strong when it's like, oh, it's 11 a.m., I'm really hungry, but I'm not scheduled to eat till 5 p.m. And the cool part about that is, it's not like your hunger lasts. My hunger eventually kind of goes away, and it's kind of dumb, but I try to make myself extra busy when I'm hungry and just turn it up a little bit. Not a lot, maybe extra is the wrong word. Just turn up the busyness a little bit, stack a couple tasks on, then by the time I'm done with those tasks, then I make them a little bit more urgent than necessary. Just take care of them, and then the hunger kind of goes away till the proper time. So in other words, one thing I shouldn't do all the time, and for a lot of feelings, I know I have certain feelings that I can never trust. Attraction being one of them. Do not trust my innate attraction. Instantaneous, without knowing anything attraction, don't trust it. If you're me. Everybody else might have a good sensor for that. Me, not so much. So I buried that feeling, it's worthless. Other feelings seem to make sense. The intuitive, knowing thyself type feeling, that really, and self-respect, that really works out well. Looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, this is who you are mentally, and then go through the things that you've done within the last week or two. It's a fun exercise. And if you could smile at yourself with all the decisions you made in the last week, that's probably an okay week. And then you think about your big decisions. And as long as you have nothing really super guilty or terrible weighing you down, you're doing pretty good. I don't know if I necessarily would, I don't know what I would do with that if I was in a situation where I was forced to do something that I consider really heinous. How I would look at myself in the mirror and ask myself, am I a good person? And I think the real reason I started this whole am I a good person thing is because I see people that think they're good people, and they're doing some pretty terrible things. And I think about certain situations in life where you thought you knew somebody, and there's the possibility of a person doing something terrible or something like that, and it's just like, whoa, never would have thought. And back to my calibration. my calibration on quote unquote judgment, good person, bad person. Well, I'd rather err on the side of thinking everybody's good, but trust but verify and all that kind of stuff. And I think in this day and age, people are generally better as long as they're able to survive and they're able to generally be in not mind-numbing pain. You can usually bet on them a little bit, and there's bad folks that you can bet on them and they'll let you down every single time. And a lot of those folks, sadly, they're just letting themselves down every single time. So you kind of watch for that. Instead of helping them out one way, you help them out in another way, but you still help. Wow, this has been a long talking period. But yeah, I'm basically glad for the decisions I made, and hopefully the skills I'm developing, and learning a little bit of Python, the programming language, and Java, and what else? A couple of the programming principles, because I guess all programs can contain loops and if-then statements type thing, and the principles behind all that way of thinking, that almost linear way of thinking, in some situations, and it's really kind of cool. I'll give you an example, and then I'll shut up and do my set of 10. But here's something I was thinking about: just spreadsheets. And yes, spreadsheets can be written like programs. At least I feel there's kind of a thing there. So let's say I'm dealing with somebody and they want to spreadsheet their expenses, and I just say, hey, every time you have an expense, you write it down here in this cell, and then you write down what it is. And maybe you do it in a note-taking app in your phone, and then you copy from your note-taking app, and you put it into your spreadsheet app. And then in your spreadsheet, you're going to go ahead and put, let's say there's 4 columns, maybe 5, the date, the cost of the thing itself, an item description, and then the next 2 columns will be whether it was necessary or whether it was discretionary, discretionary income. There's another word that starts with a D there that I'm trying to think of, not necessarily discretionary income. Well, whatever it is. Necessary, unnecessary. Let's say those 2. And then what happens just create the spreadsheet, and then I create this formula that adds up the totals at the top, because you want to look at the top, and it's just the totals for unnecessary, the total that you spend, and the total for necessary things, necessary, unnecessary. And what I'll have is constant formulas all the way down that this, the spent cost equals this and this. So this cell, let's say that's B10. And so this is the item, so that's C. And necessary, unnecessary is D&E. D&E will have the same formula, equals B10. So, and that'll be all the way down. So D11 will have equal B11, and those equal out. Now here's the cool thing. So you put in your cost right here on this, and it copies to these 2. And then what you do, instead of rewrite the thing, you actually just erase one. You just clear one of those cells. So that way, you go through the thought process of okay, I got to clear this out, if it's necessary or unnecessary. And then maybe you bought a whole bunch of stuff at the grocery store, and 10 of them are unnecessary and 5 of them are necessary. So you actually go through that process, and you put down the cost of the items. Or you just put the cost of the necessary goods and unnecessary goods, and then you break it out that way. So there's a whole bunch of fun thought processes just within this list of spending list. I personally believe that a spending list will change your life. It'll help you save money, because some of those discretionary things, unnecessary things, if you have to write down every time you pass a vending machine and you put $1 in the vending machine, you're less likely to put $1 in the vending machine and snack. It's just that little bit of extra work, and it makes it okay, is it worth writing down? And that's and having cash. I would say always have $30 cash on you. And then that way, $30 cash, it's a limited amount of cash. And it's good towards like maybe a quick trip to the grocery store. And then your big trips to the grocery store, you get cash again, but you take it out of the ATM or whatever, and you know that cash in hand, you have that list, and it's what you took out of the ATM subscribes to that list. So you only have so much cash. So it's not like if you see all these great deals and all this kind of stuff, you got that limit, you got that box that you created, those artificial restrictions. I don't know why I'm talking about all this. Maybe someone out there will find this useful. I personally think it's great, and it helps me spend less money. Writing everything down, itemizing it. I mean, I'm crazy about the item. I don't itemize the cost of every item. What I'll do is, like, let's say I spent $5.35 at the Dollar Tree, and I bought 2 flashlights and 1 thing of batteries, extra type of pen I need, and a little tiny notebook, because this notebook's going to fill before I'm done with the experiment. So I got those 5 things. All of them have taxes on them. 7 cents tax times 5, 35. So I write that down. And then I write down all the items that I had underneath that. And then what I do is just simply copy and paste. Now I have more columns. My columns are usually food, gasoline, home items, and entertainment. Those are my 4 columns. But you can break them up in all sorts of ways. And I just kind of know, like, necessary, unnecessary. I kind of feel it. I don't actually put that down in writing. But I think for most folks, if they want to go more complex, you put it into actual categories. If you want to go less complex, you already have the items listed, necessary, unnecessary. And that's a really good tool to kind of know, hey, what I should spend less on. Like, for example, I used to spend money like crazy on caffeinated energy drinks. And part of it was the money always in the back of my head, like, wow, I could total up in the month how much I was spending on that. And if you're spending more than $60 on caffeine energy drinks, and some months it was well over 60, then that's money I need. And so all it took was one piece of information, and that piece of information was caffeine has a half-life in some people of up to 12 hours. What if I'm one of those people? I'm drinking these caffeinated energy drinks. Very rarely do I sleep more than 12 hours, so I always have caffeine running through my system. Do I really want some sort of drug, what I would consider a drug, running through my system? And I know sugar can be a drug, all these things, drug, yeah. But anyway, we won't go into that, but it was like, wow, caffeine, huh? And that was that one piece of information, 12-hour possible half-life, made me think, yeah. And the fact that it's a half-life, it's not just like 12 hours it's out of your system. Like 12 hours, it might be cut in half and it's still running through your system. That is scary. So yeah, that was enough to make me just kind of cold turkey, quit caffeine. And if you watch previous videos, I talk about before I do it, and then I talk about me doing it, and now I'm a non-caffeine person. Matter of fact, I almost got a free Mountain Dew the other day, and the lady just kind of looked at me funny. She's like, "You don't drink Mountain Dew, do you?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Okay, well, I'll save that for the next customer." Cool. Even though I like free things, and I think most people like free things, even at their detriment. But anyway, set of 10, right? Oh my goodness, let's see where we are. We're probably at like 40 minutes worth of. This is gonna be a long one. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But my nose is cleared up. I guess that talking really helped my nose clear up. That's wonderful. I think I'm gonna take a good nap after this. Nice happy Sunday nap. So glad I don't have to work on Sundays. Oh my goodness. Got this at the right weight. I'm gonna consider all that talking as in lieu of a breathing exercise. I'm not gonna consider it a breathing exercise, but I think I'm pretty close to. I'm not even charged up and warmed up anymore. This is going to be fun. But I'm sure I'm able to do it. I cooled down a little bit, but not too much. This should be no problem. Set of 10. Hopefully that information was worth it. 1. 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 10 right there. Oh, my throat's getting a little bit weird. Too much talking. But it's good that I should practice my speaking. Hopefully getting rid of a lot of ums and those thinking pauses. I'd rather just pause and think. Getting rid of some of my mispronunciations right there. I just mispronunciated mispronunciation. Whew. That's a fun feat. Yeah, sometimes, like certain weekends and whatnot, I'll really not speak for like 2 days. And when I get back to speaking, it's weird. A lot of slurring of the words. Thinking more in images than talking. It has its fun spaces though. Alright, the good news is I get to dial this down for the 4th exercise. The great news is we're done with the first exercise. After all that, a relaxing day at the gym. Alright, get you all set up for the hammer curls coming up. I don't know if this classifies as fear. I feel like it does. I don't like going on roofs anymore. I think about my weight and I think about how certain roofs give and all that. And I've never actually fallen through a roof, but I don't like the idea of it. Especially the edge of a roof, like going onto the edge of a roof and that very edge where you first step off the ladder. Like that, I feel like, you know, so. I noticed that today climbing up a ladder. And the guy on the roof was looking at me and he's like, yeah, you don't have to climb all the way up. I was like, wow, did I look that afraid? Just thinking about falling through a roof. I know, if I had to get up there, I would have. But I didn't have to, so if I don't have to, I won't. Real simple. I respect my own fears or whatever they are, neuroses. And I know logically, like, you know, hey, there's people that weigh 300 pounds and do roofing and get up there without a problem. They know exactly, well, here's my thought. They know exactly how and where to step. But at the same time, they probably get somebody of lighter weight to put the ladder at the right spot. So who knows? But fear is an interesting thing. And not all fears need to be fought. That's the way I'm looking at it. That sounds like a classic cop-out, but this is one I'm largely okay with. A lot of times if there's fear in my heart, and I know logically, there's no reason for it, and it's, hey, let's take care of it. All right. That's a good angle. That's the right number. I'm not certain about it. It's all right though. We get it done. Just in case. Get that out of the way. That always makes me feel better. Oh, I love my workout machine. So tasty. 60. And 12 times 10 is 120. So 120 plus 60 is 180. Multiply that times 4. We're going to just call that 200 times 4, 800. Now we're going to take that 4 minus 20, and we're going to call that 80 4 times, and that negative 20 there. And we're going to call that 80 minus 500. So it's what? 420. Got a buddy that's probably gonna get a job at like $20 an hour doing 12-hour shifts. Sometimes I think of that stuff like fairly quick in my head, but I like running through the process. So let's say $20 an hour, what real money you get? Let's say it's 15. It should be above that, but you can budget. It's rather the budget here and then get a little extra. So $420 a week for 12-hour shifts. That's worth it. That sounds pretty cool. So I hope he gets that. Sending out little hopes out into the world. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That felt about right. Felt like it did something, just not too much. Feels like my pants didn't want me to get up. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do it like that. Alright, set of 10 after a breathing exercise. Toasty. Good kind of toasty. It's my free sauna. Set of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, he's back on that. Alright. Gonna change the angle. Gonna see how much my arms are actually bending. So this is probably the good angle for that. See there we go. Right there. Change the weight. By the way, new exercise. Quick breathing exercise. Take a look at this. Oh yeah, this is a long workout. Not a lot of work in this workout, a lot of talking. But that's okay. It recreates the old days of working out with friends. Maybe it's time to increase that weight. It wasn't feeling much. I'm trying to do basically like that. So I'm getting my triceps, but I'm also getting my back involved. Combo, but the more you get your triceps, the less you do your back. It's probably better if I touch my edges a little bit more on that one. I'm gonna leave the weight the same, do a bit of a breathing exercise, and do a set of 10, just because I feel that it might be a bit light. Sticking the script, but not even the script is perfect every time. And I'm not after perfection. I just think my body needs a little bit more right now. Also, did skip the Monday workout or the Tuesday workout, the upper one. This week is minus a workout. So when you're only doing 3 workouts a week, minus 1 workout, makes a big difference, I guess. This one's normally done on Saturday, but I was a basket case yesterday, so. Nothing like being concerned about something you can't do very much about, other than possibly make a situation worse. So. Alright, I'm going to shoot for 10 of these. I think this will be way closer to my edge than last time. It's all about going for your edges. The edge is going to feel pretty good on this one, I think. And that's the good thing about your edge on this exercise, because it's a combo exercise. I'm pushing my edge on my back. I take over with the triceps, and vice versa. When my triceps are tired out, I throw more back into it. I think this is a great exercise for that. That's my hypothesis anyway. I'm not sure if that's true, so take it with a grain of salt. And let's just take it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, that's working. 8, 9. Definitely on the triceps. 10. Yeah, in the back too. I feel them both. Felt a lot more. They did some more tricep stuff at the end there, I think. At least I was concentrating, really trying to feel it. So, I say that like, oh, no. Not trying to build the body. I'm trying to build strength with nice extensions. And the extension means my strength just doesn't begin from here to here. It's all the way out here and all the way back here. So, probably not the best for aesthetics, but aesthetics are not a priority. Reminds me of the times working out with friends. We'd joke about stuff and we'd call it like a mission. Workout before the mission, workout after the mission. Let's do the briefing and workout. And then it's like, what kind of exercises do you think you need before this mission? And it was just all these jokey, like weird, funny things. It was good. It felt good. It made working out kind of fun when you're talking and playing around. And we were all doing similar exercises. So one person would work one machine and the next person would line would and just go through a line on that one machine, set the weights, and like, oh my goodness, you're doing a lot of weight. Good job. And like, do a little bit more. It still makes me laugh. Wow, you're doing an amazing job. Look at that weight. And then you just like, without even trying them to notice, like you just up it a little bit. That was always the way. nothing was ever negative, but it was always like this little, like, I don't know. I love that kind of sense of humor that way. And the cool thing is, like, if they're really proud of themselves, they wouldn't even notice that you're throwing up higher weight. It really wasn't a competition. It was mock competition at best. All really good-natured, and I love the good nature of it. And really just kind of pushing people to be their best, and not always like, oh, you got one more. And it's like, you look like you might have one more on there. You look like you might be a moron if you don't have one more on there. And then, like, actually helping somebody out with, like, when they're really near their edges, just like, grab the back of your elbows. One person grabs the back of the elbow, and the other person grabs the back of the elbow. And they really don't help, just grab. Don't hinder, though. And the person's able to get it up. Just all they need is, like, not even like a pound worth of just a little extra control, That's cool. I miss those days, but I wouldn't want them back. If I go back in time, I'd relive my life so much differently. At least 22 regrets right here. People I would have gotten closer to. People I would have shied away from. There was this one girl in, like, second grade. I never knew why she wanted to spend so much time with me. I would have pursued that. I would have, and I say that sounds creepy when I say I would have pursued that. No, that's second grader, dude. Yeah. No, I would have definitely, I would have become deeper friends with her and maybe have a lifelong friend of her instead of just like, I don't want to hang out with you. You're a girl. I don't know. All right, so doing hammer curls. That's what we're doing. We're doing a breath exercise, then we're hitting up the hammer curls. And gonna stand up, gonna put myself to the edge, gonna make sure I do pretty full extensions here. That's a decent, let's go ahead and get that. Like that. Yeah. There's a reason I'm not a director of photography in any sort of major motion picture. All right. Breathing. If you're gonna do it anyway, you might as well try to get the most you can out of it. I was feeling good before the breath exercise. And I'm feeling a different type of good right now. I don't know which one was better. There's this type of good and that type of good. The good shifted to a different type of good. That's also a good thing to know. There's so many different forms of happiness. Let's say on a 1 through 13 scale, anything above 7 is really happy. So many different flavors of really happy. That's a wonderful thought. I am in love in the fact that I'm not having pain right now. The joints feel good. Oh, bless those joints. Maybe taking a workout today was pretty good. The legs feel good. Did the elevator squats, or not elevator squats, the air squats, and not a lot of snap, crackle, and pop this morning. Well, even doing this, there's a little bit, barely any snap, crackle, and pop. That's good. That's wondrous. All right, let's see how the joints feel on this. Hammer curls the curls in general tend to really go for the elbow joints, especially because I'm doing like full extension all the way down. If the joints are hurting too bad, I might not go all the way down. I might go to like there. But I don't think I'll have any joint pain. I might notice some joint feeling, but let's not put it into the realm of pain. All right. One, definitely notice the joints right off the bat. 2, 3, 7, 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think muscle-wise, I know muscle-wise I can go heavier, but joint-wise, not going to chance it. Making a wise decision here. Conditioning my joints for that heavier weight. Like I said, it's not in the realm of pain, and it's been in the realm of pain before. Don't want to go to that length. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you just go blow into like the pain things and you know, you're not necessarily screwing over your joints. You're maybe causing them to really, you know, prototherapy or whatever, really answer up to the occasion. I'm not so sure about that. I'm taking the slow road, taking the slow boat to China. Got a friend in China right now. I think I should probably look him up and see how he's doing. Or not. There's part of me that wants to wait till he gets back to the US, and then all of his stories and all of his perspectives will be 100% fresh, and I know he'll be able to tell it a lot better than after he documents it. You know, he documents the thing in its entirety. I'd rather listen to the full thing. So yeah, I'm not going to look him up. I'm going to wait till we have time to do a walk and talk. Done at least 1 or 2 good walk and talks with him. Good stuff. He showed me this place that has this really nice bike path, but it's also a walking path. And it was really cool. And it's wide enough where you can walk, and people on the bikes, they won't run into you, you know. So you can walk 2 people side by side, have a good conversation. Somebody's on the bike, you just tighten up just a tiny amount. Very good. Very good. Did I almost roll my R on that one? Very good. Very good. No, not rolling the R. Not rolling the R. Not yet. Eventually, the R roll will become a thing. Skills, man. Silly little skills. After this, I have a whole bunch of little tasks I'm going to do. Some of them are actually workout related. I'm not going to do them on film, but stupid little things like play hacky sack, hit the running machine, hit the rowing machine, play some drums, play some guitar, play some bass. Work on some music theory stuff, work on some language stuff, work on some other language stuff. Work on, I already worked on that. Worked on a song that I'm working on. Shared it with a friend. or at least a piece of it so far. Right now it's about a minute, and I'm a minute into it. I don't know where to go with it. I could completely scrap it. I could completely scrap where it's going and go in a completely, almost different direction. Some other things I gotta do. Let's see here. Little mini workouts, comfort tolerance test, breathing, whatever. I think I pretty much covered the breathing here, so I got breathing stuff. Another breathing exercise, maybe I'll do that at the end of this video. Let's see here. Some other things I'm thinking about. Just on my list, just trying to mentally find it, because there's like 75 things on the list that I would like to do almost every day. Maybe watch a little bit of this video, maybe not. Maybe with a pad in hand and checking things off. I know that there's so many things I haven't even hit. I think I've maybe mentioned, just south of 20 things, maybe just around 10. Play some video games. Let's see here. Some very specific type of meditations, sort of specific, and not just breathing exercises. Like, actually, it's kind of funny, some of my meditations, I scrap breathing altogether. Like, I try to focus zero on the breathing and just focus on other things. That's kind of a fun meditation, because it's not the polar opposite, but it's a totally different flavor from the breathing exercises, which can lead into meditation. A little bit of writing, should do some writing today. Mind mapping on some of my writing stuff, maybe. There's a couple different little program type things I gotta check out. Learn a little bit of Python today, play around with that. What are some other things? Obviously this workout was on the list, but it was listed as a Saturday workout. For some reason, I just want to get through that list, like mentally, just like, file it all up. Yeah. Basically, there's nothing on here that I know I haven't gone all the way through the list, but I think I've tackled the majority of the list. Oh, I know two things. There's some like eye exercises and some concentration exercises and some drawing type exercises, and then there's also left hand, right hand, not just equilibrium and balance, but synchronization type exercises. Stretching. There's some stretching type situations. Although I think I already did the major stretching. Yeah, as soon as I wake up, I usually do the major stretching. Don't have to do laundry. Yeah, I think I've gone pretty much through the list. Yeah, I've already mentioned the music theory, and that already it's an or thing. Either I work on this particular music program or I work music theory. I don't do both, because whatever I do music theory wise, I usually adopt into that program first. So, and then I write my songs off of that. Not all the time. That's just one workflow that I have. The good news is I have a whole bunch of different workflows. And depending upon the workflow and the instruments I use, songs can turn out completely different with different focuses. All right. Okay. 7 to 10. A lot of talking on this video. If you don't like it, I apologize about that. The good news is there's some shorter versions of this, but this is mostly for me and accountability, and hopefully it's for somebody out there too. And hopefully the variety, wow, I said hopefully 3 times in the same paragraph. Uh-oh, there's no hope. I genuinely believe that this would be useful to somebody. I also genuinely believe it might be really hard for that person to find this thing and have that genuinely be useful in their life. But oh well, I've done my due diligence. Oh, echo. Wow, there's some weird kind of echo going on here. Something I haven't noticed before. Weird. Or maybe I swallowed weird and my ears have popped or something. I don't know. Set of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, goodness. 9. Come on now. We can do this. 10. Feel it. I feel it. It feels good. Thank you. You do well to help me. Oh. Yeah, the elbows are feeling good. Part of me wants to grab a glass of water here. There's another part of me that says, nah, you're all right. Your body is capable of creating, some guy called it molecular water. I guess the hydrogen chains that are part of fat inside your body can be broken down, and those molecules of hydrogen can be combined with the air you're breathing in, some of which has oxygen, and your body can actually create, like an amateur chemist or a pro chemist or whatever, water, like a chemist. Water, molecular water from your body. I love the term molecular water. Water being created within the body. I don't know if it's true or not, and the guy seems pretty knowledgeable about his stuff. I think he has people, he does videos and stuff, and he has people researching with him. I think it's a whole outfit, like it's a real thing, like that's the main job of his. Be on these videos and have other people, main job, researching for him, which is awesome. That would be so cool. Of course, the guy is fit as a fiddle, and rightly so. I'm guessing he's put a lot of work, way more than 3 days a week. But yeah, I'm 3 days a week, at least for these 2 years. Then maybe more, maybe less. I'm going to see what my options are and where I'm at. Hopefully I'll be in a really, really super healthy state. And it's going to be all about longevity. Part of the reason why I don't take chances with my joints. I go light on the weights for anything that I'm feeling in my joints. I'm light on the weights. I'm doing the work, but I'm light on the joints. I'm not gonna shy away from the work to heal up my joints. I'm just going to lower that weight until pain is not really there. Noticing, good. Pain, not so good. And usually I think I'm in a state where I know that there's a state where you can ignore pain, but I'm always in a state where I'm ready to notice it, ready to pay attention to it, ready to really listen to my body. So maybe that's a wussy state. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely there. Whew. Like I said, I saw a video of a guy that basically changed his life in 10 months. And I've almost been doing this for a year, and some things have changed. Well, some things changed within the first 3 months. That's guaranteed. I think within the first 3 months, I've really lost about 30 pounds. But that was just 30 pounds I didn't really need. Now, I hover, I've gotten as low as 189, and I hover below 200 most of the time. Occasionally I've crept past that, but I really, if I want that like 13% body fat or whatever, I think I might have to go down to 175, which is kind of where I want to be. I want to see what 13% body fat feels, or lower. Nothing below 7%. And if I'm at 7%, we'll see how that feels. But that's not the main goal. Somewhere between 7 and 13, hopefully 13. And I think at 13 will be the right thing. My body will be eager to put on proper muscle, but not bulky muscle. I don't know if there's a difference between proper muscle and bulky muscle. I hope there is. I hope it'll be keeping everything tight, keeping me, not huge. Although, if I can get strength that leads with that I can swim and run, and load up strength, I really don't care how much I look. If I can do a lot of swimming, a lot of running, and still be able to have a lot of strength, like whatever that looks like, cool. But right now, the focus is not on cardio. Focus is on creating the furnace to be able to burn beyond what I normally eat, even with an intermittent fasting thing. And I think the intermittent fasting thing is going to be, unless it becomes unhealthy, as soon as it becomes unhealthy, I'm switching up on that, and I'm switching that off like a light. But intermittent fasting, I'm going to keep that lifetime. That's a lifetime change for me. It seems less expensive. And it seems like it gives me that little bit of discipline every single day, like, that little boost, like, hey, you checked that box, you did that. Oh, that's one of the other things I do. That's on my list. Like, have you fasted for at least 16 hours, but more or less go for 20. And it's kind of a fun thing, 9 o'clock at night, 5. 7 o'clock at night, if my last meal's at 7, then, it's 3 p.m., it's all sorts of good stuff there. So having those numbers in my head instantly, not having to write those down, just being able to check that box, think, what was the last time I ate last night? Oh, yeah, that was kind of late. Oh, that means I can't eat till 6 p.m. today, or whatever it is. And also setting up my schedule accordingly, knowing if I'm doing something late at night, the day before I have to cut out early so I can eat before that thing. I still haven't figured out the proper setup for working out. What I would like to do is sometimes go to bed at like 7 or 9, somewhere in between there, and wake up at 5 a.m. and just push through and do the workout then. It's happened at least once. Doesn't happen all the time. Certainly did not happen today, but I didn't think I'd be working out today. I didn't know what my plan was. My plan was basically, hey, if this situation's basically taken care of, even though it's not fully taken care of yet, but basically, if the ball's rolling and the situation looks like it's delegated out well to someone trustworthy, then weights off the shoulders, work out. So it's amazing. We live in our own heads, and I am living proof of my own subjective reality. When I have certain things that frustrate me, it's hard to add more tension onto that. And yes, working out is a tension. It's not a tension breaker. After I'm done, it's kind of a tension breaker. But anyway, 5 sets. First set is a set of 15. There was enough talking there. I'm going to do 3 quick breaths, real big. Off to the races. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Little bit of momentum there, so hopefully it was good that I went to 20 instead of 15. Now it's a set of 5, and there's going to be 4 of these sets of 5. So we're good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put them down, shake it out, do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. am going to write down on the script that I'm going to put an upward arrow towards lat push downs. That should probably go up soon. All right. Gentle reminder to myself, because this will definitely remind me. Going through this whole video, you know, needle in a straw stack. Or a haystack. Whatever you want to call it. Straw in a needle stack. All right. Third set of 5, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This should be the last set. I'm curious if my numbers add up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got a little extra energy in me. Just in case I didn't count right, I'm going to throw another set of 5 in there. Make it a nice little bundle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Definitely getting lazy, clicking the weights too hard together. Feeling it. All right, now is the time to do kind of a deep breathing sit down exercise after I put these weights away. Oh, other thing I should probably do. Get that feeling, put it right there. Elbows off knees. I always want to make sure that that's within the realm of my possibility. And I think like in jobs where they ask you, hey, can you bend over and pick up 50 pounds? Doing stuff like I just did allows me to always think, okay, I can definitely do that, you know, without a problem. So that's good. All right. Let's sit down on the ground, have a little powwow. I know that's not the right term. I'm just one human being. I think with that, you need more than one. Then it becomes, if you only have one person in a powwow, it becomes a master wow. No. about you, but I'm feeling pretty good. Yeah. Life is on its way. Wow, that's a long one. All right, later it shall be.